Having about 100 hours into the game at this point, I feel pretty confident to be able to make a tier list about Payday 3's heists as they stand on launch about a week and a half, 2 weeks after the release of the game. So far, the heists have been limited to 8 on launch. You can see them here in the bottom in order of the PowerPoint presentation of heists from left to right. It goes No Rest for the Wicked, Road Rage, Dirty Ice, Under the Surface. No, I think it's Rock the Cradle. Rock the Cradle, Under the Surface, Golden Shark, 99 boxes, Touch the Sky. So we've got 8 to work with and 8 pictures to put on this tier list. So we'll start from that order. We'll start with No Rest for the Wicked. So No Rest for the Wicked is, as far as quote-unquote starting heists go, not really that bad. I don't think No Rest for the Wicked deserves a C or a D tier. It has some pretty interesting and intricate stealth mechanics for what really is a beginner's heist into the game. Provides some pretty decent level of difficulty. The only problem I really have with this heist right now is scalability. There's not really a good return on time at the moment for No Rest for the Wicked. So there are heists that can net you a lot more money and be somewhat more enjoyable later in the game or later in your character progression than No Rest for the Wicked. So for that reason, I'm going to stick No Rest for the Wicked in the B tier because it's not a bad heist. It is fun, and sometimes it's fun to come back to and replay. Perhaps there's some bias in this that it was the heist that could be played in the beta, but really, long term, once you get past 50, 60, you're not really coming back to this. There are other heists that you will play. So for that reason, I will put No Rest for the Wicked in the B tier. Next up, Road Rage, the only loud heist in Payday 3 at launch. It kind of puts it in a unique little category here because you can't stealth it. It's the only loud experience that is uniquely loud in the game. And so a lot of people are just queuing public overkill Road Rage. And I'll see like level 10s and 15s queuing overkill Road Rage. And I'm like, come on, guys. Like, what are you doing? So, I'll just immediately leave those. So there could be some bias here in terms of, who's queuing for it. As far as an experience, though, Road Rage is pretty basic. It's the typical convoy, follow the truck until it gets there, drill it, and then run bags, and then run back to where you started. It's not, like, terrible. It's just kind of whatever. I kind of want to bump it. I'll put it between C and B tier. A part of me wants to bump it up to B tier because it's like the only loud-only experience. The only loud-only experience in the game. But I don't think I can bump it up to B tier. I think I have to put Road Rage in C tier. It's just like okay, right? It's not like terrible, but it's just pretty linear. And there's not a lot to do in it. You just kill cops and throw bags and hope people know what they're doing. Okay, next up, Dirty Ice. Dirty Ice is pretty basic. There's not much to do in it, but what there is to do is kind of nice. And a lot of people spam Dirty Ice and just run it over and over and over again until people really, saw like Rock the Cradle and what you can do on that in like 4 minutes. But Dirty Ice is, as far as a heist goes, is nice. That wasn't supposed to be like a joke or anything. Dirty Ice is nice. It's okay, right? It's okay. The mechanics in there of getting into the workshop and getting the manager, to be honest, like the time limit on getting the manager is kind of annoying. Like you gotta, especially if you're playing solo, like you gotta go and you gotta get the manager like right now. Like it's super annoying on solo. It's more manageable when you're playing with other people. Trying to think of other things. I mean, that's just to get into the workshop, right? And then there's the vault, which is fine, I guess, to get an extra bag. You really can put in a lot of work to get all of the bags and clean them, but especially on solo, it's just kind of like not worth it. Overall, it's okay. I would put it in the same tier as No Rest for the Wicked. I would put Dirty Ice in B tier. Maybe some people would put it in C. I don't see an argument to put it in A. I think it's just kind of mid. Dirty Ice is like mid. It's B tier. It's okay. Rock the Cradle. Oh, Rock the Cradle. I have a little beef with this heist, mainly because I'm primarily a solo enjoyer. And if it wasn't for some of the exploits with AI right now, solo stealthing this mission would just suck. Like, it would just suck. It's like immediate D tier for me. The first part, before you even get into the downstairs section, unless if you are abusing the arrest mechanic or you are abusing the AI's what do you want to call it? Alert, like audible alert mechanic. Unless if you're abusing those things or you just like speed run the DJ, like this heist is just annoying. And then you get downstairs and then it's like a 50-50 coin flip on whether or not you're going to have like a really shitty time getting the bags out, depending on where you get the loot drop off points. So it's just not really that enjoyable right now. And the fact that it's so abusable, and I'm talking about like enjoyability here, right? If you're talking about like XP and cash grinding, especially solo, it's like immediately S tier. There's like no question about it. But that's not what I'm doing this about. This is more about like enjoyability. Hey, how good is it? And I think there's some originality here, so, the Bitcoin stuff and the wallet, and that's fine. The loot payout for this is just absolute garbage anyway if you go for loot. I'm sticking Rock the Cradle in the D tier. It's like a visibly enjoyable heist, but it's just not really there for me. And who even gets VIP access anymore? Anyway, I'm putting Rock the Cradle in D tier. I just don't really enjoy it that much. Under the Surface is a different story. This heist, while some people would find it like annoying, this heist is sick. Under the Surface is an easy S tier for multiple reasons. One, the modularity of the heist. It could be better, but the fact that you have the Vicario paintings randomized between E3, E5, and E6 changes the dynamics of, especially if you're soloing it, which is really hard, changes the dynamics of how you flow through the map and where you need to go. That's really nice. I enjoy that modularity. Two, the challenge to this map. Some people would find the floor is lava, the lasers kind of cancer. I get that. I enjoy it. I think it's a good challenge. There are technical problems with Payday's movement system that makes vaulting objects and then just running or jumping into lasers a problem. I believe that is a gripe with Payday's movement mechanics and not with the heist itself. So I don't group that together. Okay, at its core, I will defend the lasers and how enjoyable it can be, especially when you're playing this for the first time, maneuvering through and feeling like Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible, like James Bond. It's just a lot of fun. So there's the lasers. We talked about that. Of course, the modularity of it. There's the sheer volume of loot that you can get out of here. There's a ton. If you're playing with other people, there's the challenge and the adventure, really, of getting the special achievement painting, the true connoisseur achievement painting. It's just a lot of fun to play with friends, to coordinate, to play alone. And Overkill is really, really tough. It's a huge challenge. And boy, when you get it and you get all the loot out on solo on Overkill, you feel like a boss. That's a dopamine rush. That's an achievement. Perhaps not a Steam achievement, but an internal I did that achievement. It just feels really good. Overall, this heist is great. Has a lot of good things going for it. The layout is great. The ability to move throughout the map is really nice. And overall, the mechanics are great. If there was anything I would change, I would say keeping the modularity and moving it into the Ladette painting mechanic. So instead of it being guaranteed E4, E7, perhaps that can get changed around so that a Ladette painting can show up in E2, right? Instead of just being static E4, E7 all the time. That's a point of improvement I could think of, but overall, love this heist S tier. Okay, Gold and Shark. Golden Shark. Golden Shark is a great heist. It is really solid. It is quite voluminous in terms of the space that you can move throughout the map. It's pretty big. It has multiple sections of the map in which the team is operating at one point, right? You have the front lobby when you're getting the red key card. Then you have the upstairs section where you are getting the blue key card. You are hacking the server, going to IT room, and then getting the the code to the vault rather. And then when you get in, right, then you're dealing with the lasers. You have to go back into the upstairs section, disable the lasers with the boxes. You got to work with the guy sitting on the lasers to tell you the color. And then you have to open the vault in the bank manager's room, open the vault, and then you got to move the bags. Overall, there's a lot to do in this heist. It's really fun, especially fun to play with friends. That's kind of a common theme here. Just a lot of enjoyment comes out of these heists when you do them with friends, especially Under the Surface, Golden Shark, right? These two benefit a lot from playing with good friends and great comrades. But Golden Shark, great heist. The loot payout is wonderful, by the way. And it's just enjoyable. You can do this over and over again. And the changes, the modularity isn't super significant. The biggest thing is, where the civilian is with a key card, whether it's the loan officer, the bank manager, or the bank assistant. You can use motion sensors to figure that out, really easily. But overall, Golden Shark, if I had to place it, I'd put it in A tier. Really good heist, a lot of fun. A little bit of a pain to solo stealth. I think that's why I wouldn't put it in S, is the solo experience is somewhat arduous. But you're playing with friends, it's a great time. Gold Shark A tier. 99 Boxes. Personal favorite heist of mine. 99 Boxes is, in my opinion, a lot of fun. It's currently where the weapon XP glitch is located, but I'm not factoring that into this. Enjoyability, it's a lot of fun. You have to keep an eye out on where the container yard is going to spawn. In terms of modularity, that plays a huge role into it, because whether or not it's the east or the west wing changes your playstyle and it changes your environment every game. If there was one more and there was a north container yard, that would be sick. I think that would immediately put that into S tier if you had 3 different zones where it could spawn. Or maybe even if there was a third yard that was optional and it just had loot. So maybe a second zip line. And between the west, east, and north, you have one that's got your mandatory bags and maybe a couple cash. And then another's got diamonds or something, some sort of special loot where it's an optional yard. You don't have to go there, but the return and reward is there if you do. I think that would immediately put it in S tier. But, besides that, the lead guard's kind of annoying. And to be quite frank, soloing this heist immediately puts you at a huge disadvantage, because getting the bags at maximum value before they degrade is nigh impossible on overkill stealth. Solo, that is. With good coordination, you could make it happen on overkill stealth with friends. But alone, you just don't have the information, and you don't have the buddies there to hack it, to hack the guards in your way for you. So for those reasons, overall 99 Boxes is a lot of fun. It can be frustrating at times, but for me, I put it in A tier. It's just really enjoyable. Touch the Sky. I have mixed feelings about Touch the Sky. On the one hand, it's unique, and the stealth experience is very difficult. It is a challenge, especially the Spec Ops achievement. It's not a bad heist by any means, and the loot payout is pretty decent. You can really cheese this heist, and it becomes kind of less fun, in my opinion, whenever you've got the VIP pass and you're playing with friends, so you don't you can have one guy mask up, go and do all the crap until you need to poison the drink, and then the civilian comes by with the whiskey, and then the guy who hasn't masked up yet in casing mode just nabs his VIP pass, and then he can just walk around wherever on the bottom floor. I don't know. That doesn't really seem that realistic or that fun to me personally. That's kind of like a me thing here. I know a lot of people think that's just dope. You can just run around in Mason's apartment. It's like, oh yeah, I was like totally unwelcome before I grabbed this key card. Now that I've got it, it's like, oh, didn't know you were like that. So some people enjoy it. I personally don't. But it's a pretty small heist. There's not a lot to do, really. There's just a lot of moving back and forth. It's just like move back to point A, point B, point A, point B. Move from the bedroom to the panic room, to the bedroom, to the panic room, to the closet, to the QR code room, to the bedroom, loot bags, run out the front door. And I enjoy its creativity here, but for me, I'm going to put Touch the Sky in C tier. There's an argument. For me, it's like on this line here, but I'd put it like high C tier. So if I put it anywhere, I'd put it above Road Rage. It's just kind of mid. I don't know. There's just not much to it for me. I think about like Touch the Sky versus 99 Boxes and the enjoyment there, and or like Under the Surface, for example. Like I get lost in this heist, but Touch the Sky, I'm just kind of like annoyed with how many guards there are in just like one tiny little spot. Not super fun. Okay, so this is my personal tier list for Payday 3. My opinion, of course, and my experience is subjective to what I have experienced. Please let me know whether or not you think this opinion is based or cringe in the comments section below, and tell me why, because I would love to hear your favorite heists and the ones that you had the best time on. This is my list. Show me or tell me yours. My name's Pepe Chad. Thank you for stopping by, and thank you for listening and hearing my opinion on this. Of course, let me know what you think, and I will look forward to seeing you in the next video.